Good morning. It's so beautiful today. Today is Thursday, and we put a swarm box up in a tree a couple of days ago, and I'm just going out to see if we have any activity. Squirrel coming down. We put it up there. That's probably about 9 feet up there. I hear him probably wanting to come to the pond eat my fish. But this is a swarm box we put up. The beekeeper that we talked to said that we needed to paint it to seal it. I heard something up above me. I don't know what it was. Might be a deer. But anyway, they said to paint it so it would seal it, so the wood would last longer. So I did that, and I love the beach. Squirrels are barking. I love the beach, so I did beach scenes on all mine. Let's go around here. There. I love sea turtles. A very good sea turtle, but and then on the other side, which is against a tree, I've got like a, sorry, I'm moving so much. I've got like a sunset with palm trees on it, but there's the birds sitting watching the sun go down. Anyway, but I don't see any activity. I just hear the squirrels are barking at each other. This tree right here, you can't really tell by the video the size of it, but it's huge. My favorite tree. And we're lucky enough to have bought this place a year ago, and it has a spring on it and a spring-fed pond. We've got some fish in the pond. Having a problem with the algae on it. Ours runs out on under the road. The cul-de-sac, the overflow does, and it runs into a river on down. And I always have to go to the other side of the cul-de-sac and move all the moss out because it gets plugged up on the other side. We've used the sprays and everything like that, but it doesn't seem to help it. It'll be clear a few days and then it goes right back with this, but the fish like it because they can hide under it. But this is our place we're so fortunate to have. I'm fixing to embark on a new adventure. I'm going on a bus tour with my mom, going up to Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard. So we'll see how that goes. It's my mom's second, mine first. The travel agent, she said that I would probably be the youngest one on the bus, so this should be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to go travel with my mom. It's 10 days on a bus. I don't know how that's going to go, but I think there's only 31 of us that are actually going that will be on the bus. I'll show you more before I jump in the car and head out. My father-in-law gave me a pig feeder the other day. It didn't have a good lid on it, so he knew of where one was on his farm, so we went and dug it out. But my ideal is to put some lining in the bottom of those and then put some dirt in them and have the something to prop the lids up and plant lettuce in there. But I got most of my garden took care of. Still got beans coming on. I got some of it cleared out. My spaghetti squash is basically done. My tomatoes are still going. I have some peppers going, a few cucumbers. The asparagus that I planted, of course, it's too young. So just leave it alone and enjoy how beautiful it is. But this right here, it's round. The people that had it before, I planted the crepe myrtles and rhubarb plant. I love rhubarb plants. They're so beautiful on a flower bed. Come back every year. But this round house here is made out of block. It's got a tin roof. When we moved here, it was terrible. Just terrible. They had it was like a bird sanctuary. They had, I guess, exotic birds and stuff, but it smelled terrible when we came here. And they had another room that had never been finished in it, and it was just terrible. So we still got a long ways to go on it, but anyway, I love it in here. We tore down, look, this is so cool. I put pictures. It's kind of like a beachy room, but I've got all my potting supplies there, and then my potting table that my husband made me out of cedar lumber that we had. We used to own a cedar sawmill, and but anyway, he made that for me. I drew it out for him, showed him what I wanted, and he drew it out. And all the cabinets and stuff that are in here, I just repurposed them, put fronts on them, put a little shiplap on the sink. It was in terrible shape. But our ideal is to line the ceiling with cedar lumber to go up there. It's got a fan up there, but we're going to have to get a new motor because dirt daubers and whatnot has made it where it doesn't even work. But you probably can't tell. It's early and the lighting's not great, but I had an old galvanized bucket. I think it came from the Dollar General, but I'd had this light kit, and the cord is like rope. It looks like rope, but yeah, don't look at that. Any electricians don't look at what we've got going on. But anyway, I put some these little glass stones here. I put some of those around. Oh, I just can't see. I put some on the inside and on the outside. Yeah, you can't see, the lighting's just not great. But anyway, this was an old sink, and I'm going to put shelves in there, and we've got to get it hooked up to water. This was just old, like a table that they had threw together, and they had so much scrap lumber in here, trim and just everything, and I just kind of lined it all around you know, just trying to be creative. But I painted my door blue, so I put some trim up. I make jewelry also, so I got all my supplies there. I love mermaids. Like I said, I love the beach. But anyway, I don't know what else to show you in here right now. But, oh, when we were going to farmer's market, I think the last time we went was last year, probably around June. Because we had sold our house and everything, and we were going through a big move and all that. But I made this little, like, a fruit stand shelf. I just made it out of the aged cedar lumber. I love the gray. And then I made these boxes, and they're heavy. They're made out of 1-inch lumber. But I just kind of drew out the pattern that I wanted and the cut and everything, and I made that. See, sometimes you just gotta try something. Just make it, just try it. Like my daddy told me one time that you never know what you can do until you try to do it. So I'm not scared of power tools, so I just go for it. But always be careful. Wear your safety goggles and watch your fingers, even when you're using a brad nailer or any kind of that, because I've been attached to a few projects before. But yeah, I'll show you my father-in-law gave me. We were going through a old barn of his. Look at that. Look at that sickle. Isn't that awesome? It's huge. Put it out here and light it up. Look at that. Can you imagine? He had told my father-in-law, he had told me that once before, we're going to go back outside, like a long time ago, where he lives at the bottom, his bottom field, there was a bunch of guys that had a hummingbird. There was a bunch of guys that had gone to cut down all their hay and everything with the sickles, and so it took them 2 weeks, and this is several guys doing this. It took them 2 weeks, and then a town way on down, probably 50 miles from them, got a really hard rain, and it ran down and raised all the other creeks up that were, of course, downstream, and it washed all their hay away. That's all they had. And they didn't have tractors, balers, or anything like that. They gathered it all by hand. That would just absolutely make a person sick. Mr. My husband and I got for me for a Mother's Day sometime. And this is one thing I'd like to encourage everybody to do that has produce or anything really, canned goods or whatever. I made this and I put it out here by the road, and any extra produce, or if I got produce that's growing that I'm not going to be able to use or get canned or anything like that, I've got this here, and the neighbors or their friends or whatever driving down the road, they can just pick up what they want. But I made all this out of scrap lumber too, just threw it together. But anyway, I encourage you all to do a little something for your neighbors. You never know what somebody's going through, and stuff like that. Just make their day. One of our neighbors, I was out here mowing one day, and she stopped on her way home, and she told me that she got one of those squash, but she didn't know what it was. And so I told her how to cook it and everything. And, you know, I just kind of encourage somebody to try something different, you know, just something that they wouldn't normally get at the grocery store. But anyway, I am going to head on down the road and meet up with my mama. She lives in Texas, and we're gonna meet about halfway. But anyway, I'll go back on here tomorrow as we're boarding the bus. This will be exciting. Have a blessed day. Bye.